everybody. Welcome back to Big Time Story Time. I'm Miss Dorothy, and I'm here to read you a book. Now, this isn't a bedtime story, although I guess you could watch it at bedtime if you want. You can actually watch it anytime, but it's a longer book. It's going to take Miss Dorothy a little longer to read it. So this book is good for like when you're driving in the car or when it's raining outside and you just want to curl up with a good book. That's what Big Time Story Time's all about. And I have a really special book today. You see, I have some friends. They live kind of far away, but they were telling me how much they like the books with Curious George in it. You know Curious George, the monkey? Well, I have two friends that really like Curious George books. Now, one of my friends' name is Caleb, and Caleb lives all the way in North Carolina. Hi, Caleb. Miss Dorothy really was excited to hear that you like Curious George books. And then I have another friend. His name is Finn, and Finn lives up in Pennsylvania. Well, Finn likes Curious George books too, and Finn watches Goodnight, Lighthouse, and he watches Big Time Story Time, and so I told Caleb and I told Finn that I would find some Curious George books to read for them, and I found one, and I think you guys are really going to like it. Now, there's a lot of Curious George books out there, but I found one that I thought we would all like, and it's called Curious George Makes Pancakes. Well, we all love pancakes, right? So this will be a really good book. Curious George Makes Pancakes. Now, we love Curious George. Sometimes we watch him on TV. Sometimes we read his books. But every time we do, he gets into some interesting situations. And I think the same thing's going to happen in this book. Now, the Curious George books are written by Margaret and H.A. Rays. They do this together. They write the books, they draw the pictures, they fill it with the words, they tell us the story. They do a great job with Curious George. And tonight, or today, because it doesn't have to be nighttime, we're going to find out what happens when Curious George makes pancakes. Are you ready, Caleb? Are you ready, Finn? I want you to listen extra close because this was picked specially for you. And everybody else should listen close too, because this is going to be a lot of fun. Are you ready, everybody? Good, because here we go. This is George. George was a good little monkey and always very curious. One morning, the man with the yellow hat woke George early. "Time to get up, George," he said. "The pancake breakfast is today." George loved the pancake breakfast. It was a fundraiser held every year to make money for special programs at the Children's Hospital. Besides eating pancakes, there were all kinds of games to play. Even the mayor came to play and eat. But first, he gave a welcome speech. Wow, it looks like a big special day. Pancake breakfast, games. This is going to be fun. "Thank you all for coming," the mayor said. "We appreciate your generous support." He thanked all the volunteers who were helping that day, and finally he said, "Please enjoy yourselves and the pancakes." When the mayor finished, the man with the yellow hat said, "George, I'm going to buy our tickets. Please wait here and don't be too curious." George waited like a good little monkey, but something smelled good. Could it be the pancakes? George was curious. Uh-oh. The man told George not to be too curious, but something smells good. He followed the delicious smell and found a whole griddle full of pancakes. George watched as the man poured little batter circles and flipped them up in the air. It looked like fun to make pancakes. George wanted to help. On a table near the griddle was a basket full of blueberries. These pancakes need blueberries, George thought, and he sprinkled some on top. George is making blueberry pancakes. He just wants to be a helper. Meanwhile, the man at the griddle was so busy, he didn't notice the little monkey helping him, but the line grew and grew. George's pancakes were a hit. Soon everyone had wanted them, and the man could not keep up. "Please wait," he said to someone holding an empty plate. "I need to find an assistant to help me." And just like that, he was gone. The man did not know that George was putting blueberries on all the pancakes, and now the people wanted more pancakes than the man could make. So he leaves to go find a helper. George looked at the people waiting in line, and then at the empty griddle. Why, he could make pancakes. He could be the assistant. George poured the batter into nice round circles. Next, he added blueberries. He waited just a minute to let the pancakes cook. Then he flipped them over. And last, he added syrup. Oh, they do look yummy, don't they? The line for pancakes was enormous. But with 4 hands, George made quite a chef, and no one's plate was empty for long. "I've been coming to this breakfast for years," a man said, "but I've never seen pancakes made like this before." "I've never eaten so many pancakes before," said a girl. "I didn't even like pancakes before," said another girl, and they all lined up for more. When the man returned with his new assistant, he was shocked to see a monkey making pancakes. "This is no place for a monkey," he yelled, and he began to chase George. George hadn't meant to cause trouble. He only wanted to help. Now he only wanted to get away. Quickly, George found a place to hide, and the man and his assistant ran right by. But where did George go? Does anybody see George? He's hiding somewhere. There he is, up there with the stuffed animals, right next to the dinosaur. When it's safe to come out, George jumped down. He was covered in syrup like a pancake, and he was sticking to everything. George was curious. Could these napkins help get him clean? Oh no, he's picking up napkins to get clean, but he's so sticky that the napkins are sticking all over him. No, the napkins only made it worse. What George needed was some water to wash with. Why, here was the perfect thing. George climbed in. This would do the trick for a sticky monkey. George sat on the bench and splashed himself with water. But all of a sudden, splash! George was in the water. What a surprise! George climbed up again and splashed back down. He'd never been in a dunk tank before, and he'd never had so much fun getting clean. Soon everyone was having fun, and the line at the dunk tank grew even longer than the line for the pancakes. Later, the mayor came by. "I've heard all about your delicious pancakes," he said. "You've made our fundraiser a big success, and I have a special favor to ask you." At the end of the day, George got to present the money from the fundraiser to the president of the hospital. "Thanks to you, George, this has been our best year ever," she said. "Will you come back and make pancakes again next year?" George nodded yes, and everyone cheered. Wow, that was a special book. That was a long book. I told you it would be, but so much happened. George went to the pancake breakfast, and they were trying to raise money for the hospital by selling the pancakes and doing other things. And George got involved with everything. And when he made pancakes, everybody loved them. And they bought so many pancakes that they made more money than ever for the hospital. That was really special. And now here they're saying, come back next year, George. We want you to make more pancakes. This was a good book. I hope you really liked it. I hope you enjoyed it, Caleb. I hope you enjoyed it, Finn. I'm going to go find some other Goodnight, Lighthouse, and Big Time Storytime books that have Curious George in it, because obviously we can have a lot of fun with him. Thanks for introducing me to that. I'm glad that we read it together. Now, everybody, it's time for you to move on with your day. I want you to get out there and go out and play, or go talk to mom and dad, or read another book. You can always do that. Books are always there for you, and Miss Dorothy is always here for you, ready to read to you at night or during the day when you have time for a long book. You come back and see me real soon. I hope that you will come over to Goodnight Lighthouse, and I hope you'll come back to Big Time Story Time. And I can't wait to see you again. I'll be right here waiting for you, holding a book, ready to read to you. You have a great rest of the day, everybody. Bye.